One Caribbean, many voices. Caribbean Perspectives starts now.
Ready?
Hello, hello everyone, and welcome back. This is the show Caribbean Perspectives. So I am Kiala, right, otherwise known as K. So with me
Have
on
no
the show
names.
today is Karika, right? Karika is Jamaican, so we
Yeah.
have the Jamaican perspective in the house today. And we have Devon as well. Devon is a Belizean
Hello, hello.
living in Trinidad and Tobago. So he could give you a bit of both perspectives, but we have the Belizean perspective for sure in the house today. Today we have a very interesting show planned. It will be lively. We will have different perspectives, and we're happy to have a male perspective when you hear what the show is about, right? We're happy to have a male perspective in it. So this week I saw a topic on how parents raise male children differently to female children, and this was coming from the female perspective. And, she was pointing out how she was raised differently to her brother by different standards. Her parents were stricter in enforcing rules with her and the brother was, laissez-faire. So it got me thinking on whether is that a Caribbean reality as well? Can we see differences between the ways in which parents raise their girl children as opposed to their boy children? I mean, in different facets, it could be from going out late, it could be from bringing a boyfriend or girlfriend into the house, who has to do housework, who has to do chores. In these kind of aspects, what I want to talk about today is whether there is indeed a difference in the Caribbean with how we raise females and males.
You want
Who
to go?
wants to yes or no first? Okay, Devon, you go first.
Sure. I think that it varies because you would find that female children, I think that there's this perception that female children need a little bit more protection than males. And so you'd find that a lot of mothers and fathers are very um particular about their princess. So they tend to, what do I say? They tend to be more a little bit more stricter with their female child. That's what I think.
But why do you say females need more protection though? In what way? Like,
Because I find that, and I've seen it a lot where males are given more freedom because they believe that they can protect themselves from different dangers and stuff. And I think they see female children a little bit more fragile, and so I think they don't want to, like in terms of what Kay said, that sometimes they don't give the male a time stamp to come in, but the female child has to be home by this time. And I think it's just a protective, you know, something.
and in my case, I wasn't even given that time to come home. I was just told you can't go nowhere. Like for my entire childhood, teenagers,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. Yeah, I always know, to be honest, I was not allowed to go anywhere. And my
And
brothers
you're coming
could
from
go.
a family with, and you have brothers and sisters.
Brothers. I'm the only girl. I'm the only girl, and I'm the first one. And I was
Princess.
never allowed to go anywhere. And my brothers could go to parties from the time they were teenagers. There was my mother said, you can't catch it between Monday to Friday. What make you go catch it on a Saturday? Anything you don't catch, right? You can't go to the library.
Right. Well, in my case, I don't think in terms of the going out, there wasn't a difference. I have one brother and there are three girls. There wasn't a difference in the going out part, because my parents, for the most part, if you're going out with friends, they're dropping you, right? So I mean, if they're dropping you, if it's my brother, they're dropping you too. right? So, I mean, with the going out, we both got to go out. It wasn't you could go because you're a boy and you can't go. Well, back in those times, I'm not that old, but back in those times, we used to play in the streets outside. Now I don't see children playing in the streets anymore.
No.
And yeah, all of us would be out in the road playing where we lived. All of us, it wasn't, and all of us would come in late. Or it wouldn't be, you have to come in first because you're the girl, you have to do this. If they're calling us in, everybody's coming in. So we were there late. I mean, I guess it was a community more back then. So there wasn't a difference in terms of the going out and raising a boy and a girl in my household when we were growing up. But I mean, and it wasn't a difference in terms of chores either. My brother had to do things at home. We had to do things at home. He would get sent to wash the dishes too. My parents didn't have this thing where the girls would wash the dishes and the boy would sit down. It wasn't, they didn't have that kind of disparity at all in my house.
I have noticed that that's a bit strange too, because when I was growing up, it was the same way. We all had to do certain chores around the house, and you would find that it makes you a little bit more holistic in a certain way. You would find that there are a lot of males who don't know how to cook, clean, and wash. And I've seen it too, where I have acquaintances where their little brother don't do anything around the house and they must do everything for that boy child. And I find it rather strange because what it's strange.
It's true because you don't teach them to cook and you don't teach them to wash. And then next thing you know, they're 18 and you're unleashing them from people, girl, Pitney. Like,
Exactly.
They can't do a thing.
Getting a maid here, like, we're both working. We're both working people. You understand? Like, I don't understand why in 2020 there are still some men. Personally, that's not my experience, but there are still some men who said, my mother carrot juice tastes better, then go back home. Right,
Yes.
you're gonna have this Pepsi. You understand? You can't get carrot juice, but understand that I'm a working woman. I'm not a homemaker. Like, I'm not staying here. And like I say again, I don't want anybody to think this is my personal experience. But Devon and I will live on the blogs. So just by seeing the stories right out there, and
but we know the relationship between mother and son. It's a famous relationship between a mother and her son. A mother will, her son, not her son, don't touch her son. Her son is not supposed to do this. Her son is her baby. Even when he is married, he is still her baby. And we'll get to that a little later as well. But Devon, yes, Devon.
My opinion is not foreign, it's not way off, but we'll get to that. I just in terms of and just like what you're saying, don't touch a mother's son, it's similar with most dads, don't mess with their female child. And you can find that even though some of those some of them men were players back in the day, don't mess with them female child.
Yes.
You find so much of these fathers. I personally think they're speaking out of faith. They know what they did. They know their days with people's young daughters, and they are afraid. They are afraid. They can't even think of their daughter being in a position that they had someone else's daughter. They are afraid.
But you know that even when I find that the daddy-daughter relationship tends to be more of, it is surface. So it's daddy loves me and I'm daddy's princess. But the mother-son one, it really breeds some different kind of man. We're very much entitled and just want to cock up foot and really look a helper. And always the mom, even during the marriage or close to marriage, is always mommy above everybody. Mommy is the queen. I find that the father-daughter relationships, they're kind of innocent. I've never heard a woman say, my father is my king and my father have to is my father above this even when I'm married? But I find that men, Caribbean men, Jamaican men, they really hang on to their mother boy. I don't know what it
But-
is.
Yeah, but you know, honestly thinking like if you're saying my father is my king and my father doesn't think, somehow that seems a bit, if you hear that, you would be like
Because,
you pause a little more for that relationship than with a mother-son. You would accept a mother-son closeness, a mother-son bond, but people are very suspicious of a father-daughter bond.
yes,
It's just something that's you know, I don't think people.
it seem as if it's wrong. Don't you talk about that, but
Yes,
I'm not your daddy, I'm your husband, I'm above your daddy, but yet your mommy is above me.
yes,
I said to you, you're a
yes.
mommy's boy. We've had this discussion. You say you're a mommy's boy. I think.
Yeah,
It-
you know, but
Hmm?
then, Kerika, you're saying this is 2020, right? But
Yes.
you know, a lot of females are not like you. A lot of females put up with these things. So even though you would find a lot of them, you see them over social media complaining, but yet they're still with the man.
Yeah, I see them too. They complain and ask for help. Ask bloggers and strangers for help. What you think I should do? What you mean? What you think you should do?
Hello. In Devon, in this day and age, you can't be leaving relationship, you know, because you don't know when you're getting back one. You think it's so easy to walk out one relationship and another. Not everybody could do that. So sometimes you find them, they're sitting down and they're complaining about the man, they're complaining, but they can't leave because they don't know when next they're ending up in another one.
But why is this? That is so, it's so funny because I saw a story about that. Somebody says it's because we can't do better that we don't left him. But look at him too. You saw that, but
You know?
but at the end of the day, why do you need to be in a relationship, whether it be with man or woman? Why can't you? So if you don't like it, why you can't just be by yourself? Well, I understand the financial reason. Some people can't be by themselves because in Jamaica you can't even buy a house by yourself. The NHT alone, the contribution is so
No, you think it's financial alone. Listen, what was it? I know sometimes we learned, was it Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Yeah.
Was it five? Well, it's food. I know food, shelter. I have
Yeah.
to look it up. But is human companionship one? Because it should be.
But
Yes.
you don't hear about FB, Friends with Benefits? Which,
Right,
means which means that you don't have to be a hotel or a motel.
sometimes
It's just,
boy,
it's
sometimes
just if it's companionship you want, just visitation rights and go home.
Visitation rights.
Like conjugal visit and go home. You don't need to endure all that stress. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, you don't need to enjoy mother-in-law stress.
That should be in the terms and conditions of the companionship, if that's what you're looking for. Not you, I'm just speaking in general. Like,
Yeah.
no, let that be in our terms and conditions. You don't have to go through all that stress of the man not doing this, that. If it's just that you want, then let's establish that and we move on.
Right.
I see a lot of females complaining, and that's my thing. They're complaining, and like Karika says, she won't put up with that. So then my question is, why are these females just,
or maybe because I've never been faced with the challenge. Because sometimes you say now put up with things until you're faced, but I've never been faced with that challenge. But something strong in my soul tell me that I wouldn't put up with it. Me not have, as times progress, women are becoming more educated. There are other ways to show love and affection. Eating out is a good way.
Yeah, you have the money.
Right. Well,
Okay. I won't lie. I won't lie like some people and say that they're not. I was very sheltered whilst growing up. And so when I left UWI, when I left Belize to go UWI, I was quite young, but my mother always said, I will teach you to cook so that no girl can chance you. Right? And so when I went UWI, I didn't have time. Well, I don't know. I will not blame her. She was busy, but I didn't have time to learn how to cook. So I left UWI and I didn't know how to cook. But best believe me, Barbados expensive. I had to learn how to cook.
Mhm.
And so now, I mean, I know how to cook. And
That's
so
good. So you
lesson
can
was
cook like a full out meal, Devon. Can you cook out like a full out meal?
yeah, I have been cooking since 17 when I went UE.
Oh, you see?
And I am now in my early 20s.
Me too. You're not going to throw no what I'm
Me too, me too, me too.
All of us.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just to show that there are some people who don't know. And then if you don't know, then why do you expect somebody to live up to a standard that you can maintain too?
Exactly. Exactly. Why do you want women to live up to the standard that you can maintain? You want to eat, so you go cook. If you can't eat, if you cannot cook, let's eat out. Simple solution. I will cook.
Financial. But you know there are some women who are suffering abuse and they don't know. Abuse is not only physical, you know.
Talk.
Yes.
Talk. Amen.
You find that I must bring this up because I always see on social media Jamaican women say that they don't want no mean man. But I am, to my understanding, a mean man is a man who will not give you everything. So
A mean man is a man, well, from my perspective as a Jamaican,
yeah,
mean man is a man who won't even help you out in very dire circumstances. So if you say my car break down, come for me, not even that bat an eye to come for you. If,
okay.
oh, you know,
Hand tight.
like him count everything. So instead of
Right.
like, and you have to be careful of those relationships, you know, because people like to think that, oh, because Jamaican women are gold diggers.